So this is Dr. T.V. Rao, Professor, DBS Institute of Technology, KAVALI. So now I am going to explain electromagnetic clutch. Okay. So already we have discussed what is meant by clutch, what are the different types of clutches, and we have discussed single plate clutch, multi-plate clutch, and centrifugal clutches. This electromagnetic clutch is the one of the advanced versions of clutch technology. Okay, so here we are using the electromagnetism principles we are using. Okay, here engaging the clutch, that means transmission of power from the engine to the gearbox. We are sending through some electromagnetic principles, and this clutch is operating based on the electromagnetic principles. And here the electromagnetic clutches operate electrically but transmit the torque mechanically. Here the electrical concept is there and the mechanical concept also is there. Hence they are used to refer as electromechanical clutches. Instead of saying electromagnetic clutches, this we can also name it as electromechanical clutches. So here, so generally in clutch, there are mainly two important operations, engaging of clutch and disengaging of clutch. If you engage the clutch, the power is transmitted. If you disengage the clutch, the cutoff of the power takes place. So here, engagement, when the clutch is actuated, when you engage the clutch, what happens means the current flows through the electromagnet. The current flows through the electromagnet and producing the magnetic field. So if you engage the clutch, we supply the current and some electromagnetic field can be produced. The rotor portion of the clutch becomes magnetized and set up as a magnetic loop and attracts the armature. And due to this passage of this electric field, so it acts as a magnet and it attracts the clutch plate. This armature is pulled against the rotor and a frictional force is generated at contact. Within a relatively short time, the load is accelerated to match the speed of the rotor, thereby engaging the armature and the output hub of the clutch. In most instances, the rotor is constantly rotating the input all the time. Okay, so like this. So due to the passage of this electric field, some magnetic properties will be developed, and it attracts the frictional surface, like it attracts the clutch for engagement. You want to disengagement. Disengagement is very simple. So if you stop the power supply, automatically the clutch will be disengaged. For engaging, you have to supply the current to the electric field, and it acts as a magnet and it attracts. You want to disengage means if you cut off the power supply, automatically the clutch will be disengaged. So an electromagnetic clutch consists of engine flywheel provided with electric winding. So that engine flywheel completely is provided with a electrical winding, and this driven plate is lined with a frictional material is provided. So driven plate, that is clutch plate is completely covered with a frictional lining. It is free to move over this clutch plate. It moves freely over the splines of the transmission shaft. A pressure plate is provided for engaging and disengaging of the plate. Between this driven shaft and driver shaft, there will be a pressure plate. Based on the pressure plate only, this engagement and disengagement takes place. The operation of this clutch takes place when the electric current is passed through the electric winding incorporated on the flywheel. When the winding gets then energized, so if you supply the power, so due to this electric winding, the winding gets energized and it acts as a magnet and it attracts the pressure plate. Once pressure plate is attracted, the engagement of the clutch takes place. And disengagement is very simple. If you supply the current supply, automatically, if there is no current supply, so it cannot act as a magnet, and the pressure plate will be, due to spring force, the pressure plate will be disengaged. Like this, engagement and disengagement takes place due to the supply of electric power. That's why this is called as electromagnetic clutch. So this is electromagnetic clutch. This is a flywheel. This flywheel here, top and bottom, if you observe. So circumferentially there is a electrical winding. Due to this electrical winding, so it acts as the flywheel acts as a magnet, and the opposite there is a pressure plate. So once if you supply the power, it acts as a magnet and it attracts the pressure plate for engagement. If you switch off this power, automatically the disengagement takes place. Like this, engagement and disengagement, it takes place based on the supply of the power. So here, in these cases, we supply 5 amperes of current supply for this electrical winding, 5 amperes. Okay, this you should remember that 5 amperes of current supply, and this current supply, it's supplied from the vehicle dynamo, and it increases when speed increases. Okay, the clutch engaging force or torque increases when speed increases, and it had some advantages and disadvantages. Advantage will be the complicated linkage is not required to control the clutch. Here there is a very simple mechanism. There is no complication of mechanical parts and all these things. But disadvantage is it is very high initial cost, and operating temperature is limited because high temperature insulation of the electromagnetic gets damaged. So at high temperature, this all electrical wires insulation gets damaged. That's why at high temperature it is not suitable. The risk of overheating due to engagement. So due to engagement and disengagement, if overheating takes place, means there is a damage of this electromagnetic clutch. The brushes used to energize coils are needed for periodic check. So here, any electrical component, the brushes, it plays a very vital role. So even very slight contact, disengagement of any slight contact, also the circuit will not activated, and it cannot work. That's why periodic checking of brushes are required. Okay. So this is the diagram of electromagnetic clutch. This is the engine shaft or driver shaft. This will be a driven shaft. Driver shaft is connected to the flywheel, and driven shaft is connected to the pressure plate. In between that, there will be a clutch plate, friction lining. Okay. So on the flywheel, there will be electrical winding. If you supply the power, so this due to electrical winding, flywheel acts as a magnet. It attracts the pressure plate and its engagement takes place. You want to disengage, so you have to supply the power, and automatically the disengagement takes place. So this is the principle of electromagnetic clutch. So this is very advanced clutch technology. Okay. So with this, we have discussed different types of clutches. We have discussed single plate clutch, multi-plate clutch, centrifugal clutch, and electromagnetic clutch. These are the 4 important clutches nowadays we are using in different vehicles. Okay. So with this, today I will close this session. Thank you.